Hello everyone and welcome back once again to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2021. It's week 48 and this week I think PD are trolling us, if I'm honest with you. It's quite a funny, weird old week. As you can see in the background, we are in Fiat 500s at Lego Maggiore Centre. But before we jump into the race, as always, let's have a look at the race details. We're racing 5 laps here at Maggiore Centre. It's a grid start, as always, with race A, and we are on sports hard tyres. Now, this is possibly one of the slowest cars in the world. Yes, that was a Jeremy Clarkson attempt there. But yeah, this is ridiculously slow. And it does mean that the racing is very, very, very close, as you are about to find out. Here we are then at the start of the race. Flash away as always. It's legal in-game, so you can just flash your lights. Happy days. And we are obviously starting at the back. We don't qualify for these races. And there we are. Brake balance is 0. To be honest, it doesn't really matter what your brake balance is here, if I'm honest. Maybe -1 does help, as I've always said. You don't need traction control either. Just foot to the floor, and now you get to see how slow this car actually is. So, we've set off here. We change gear. And everyone's getting into line very quickly. So I'm thinking, can I be a bit sneaky here and go round the outside? Because that'll be quite a sneaky move and gain a few places. Let's see what happens as we come into here. And Galax White covers that off, really. And then I believe uses the handbrake there, potentially. I'm not too sure, but that slows us right up. Unfortunately, it pushes us into J-Dex just a tiny bit. But we continue on out of there. And then we're going to go into the right-hander here. Now, there is a couple of turnips. We're going to call them turnips this week to keep it advertiser friendly, of course. And you'll see them later on. One is just up ahead as well. So coming into here, I was like, okay, let's try and get sneaky around the outside and carry that momentum through the corner. See, everyone stays tight here. So that's what I do. And look how well it works, actually. So we've got the momentum here on the Turkish driver there. And we're going to continue on going forward here. There's an Italian and a Spaniard here. The Italian is one of those turnips that we will see just in 1 moment's time. As you see, we're nearly 3-4 wide potentially, looking at that radar as we head towards turn 1 once again. And they just turn in here. Not sure why. It just seems a bit dodgy to me. That obviously caused a bit of an issue, but then we all sort ourselves out. So happy days. So not too much of a turnip at the moment. But then, yes, we get a nice little run here. And again, they just start turning in. And then I don't know. They were being a bit weird, if I'm honest. We'll continue on all the same up into P10. But now, look at this. 4 wide in towards turn 1. This can't end well, can it? We're going to go into a lap guide as well. Not that you really need this, but hey, here it is anyway. Head towards turn 1. Avoid blue van man. You're looking for that 50-meter board. That's how slow this car is. You're aiming for that 50-meter board. It's very rare we do here, but hey, here we are. So in towards turn 1, you see lots of carnage up ahead. Now, I actually just go off here and I do it by myself. So I slow the car down enough here and stop it for turn 2. You don't really need to brake for turn 2. You normally can just let the car roll in. It depends if people are there or not. Once again, the Italian's just going to turn into us, thinking that we don't exist. Maybe we don't. I actually don't know. Let me know on the postcard, comments, or in chat if you're watching the premiere. Now, I've got an announcement at the end of this video, so do stay towards the end. But we're looking on the inside of J-Dex here now as we head up to the last corner. And of course, we've got one more brake marker to look for in this lap, guys. So we're going to be looking on the right-hand side. And we're specifically looking for either the flag indicator or that Marshall box HUT thing on the right-hand side. Not sure what it actually is. If you're on the left, look for that Marshall box. On the right, where I was, I'm looking more for the flag indicator. J-Dex gives me some space. Thank you very much. And we're going to go side by side once again as we leave that corner and head on to lap 4. Now, as we do this, if you look on the left, they're all staying in one line, which is odd. I was expecting someone to at least move over, so I lose out here to J-Dex as we head towards turn 1 then. I'm going to go over to the right because I want the best line possible and try and, go around the outside as we've done a couple of times already as we head in there. But J-Dex covers that off beautifully and a couple of people leaning on each other there. Max and I'm not sure who that was. Then we get punted from behind. Once again, the Italian decides that nobody exists. Punts me and then goes straight into Svetlio as well. Yeah, this driver, not the best, let's put it that way, as we come through here. And it looks like there's some nudging going on there. I don't know who that was, but J-Dex got pushed off wide. I'm going to guess it was a Spaniard maybe? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I was just like, this is not very entertaining and boring, to be honest, when I was doing this race. It's not a race I'd recommend personally. It is pretty rubbish. But if you like this kind of stuff, hey, it's here for you, and this is what the video's for. It was Max pushing JDX off earlier. Now, coming into here, I was on the inside, so I wasn't worried about anything. Well, yeah, George just comes across everybody. Luckily, no one was there this time. Max gets a really good run out of there, so fair play to Max. Really nailed it very well, and does the cutback on at least 2 people. It's going to be 3 people. Could be on George as well. That could be 4 people. Let's take note of that as we continue on towards the final lap then, and heading towards turn 1 once again. So George obviously goes defensive. Right to do so. As we head in there, and I think Max is going for the punt here. Properly punts George. We're left with nowhere to go here, and all the way to the back we go. I'm not sure why Max broke there either, but hey, here we are. So hey, we got a jumpy a bath. No, it's not even a bath, is it? I don't even know. Is it a Fiat or a bath? I've not really followed the actual model of the car. Heading towards the last corner then. The circus driver wasn't very happy with Max, as you see here, for the full-on punt there into the barrier. So we go for that lovely little cutback that we saw earlier from Max, and we're going to take 1, 2, 3, and is it going to be 4 positions from JDX? It is indeed. We take 4 positions in 1 corner. That's a nice lovely move that you can use as well. You've seen 2 people do it in this video. 1 you can use going forward. But that is it for race A. As I say, pretty boring, pretty slow. The rest of the races are actually pretty quick, and the next one is absolutely hilarious. Welcome to Tokyo then, where you're probably wondering why it's so hilarious. But we'll get to that in just a second. As you can see, we are in Group 3, and it's actually the East Inner Loop. So if you know all your loops around Tokyo, that's the one for you. But obviously, we'll do a lap guide as always. But before all of that, let's have a look at the race details. We're racing 4 laps here at the East Inner Loop. It's a rolling start, and we are on a racing medium tyre. Now, the rolling start, no issue. It's a 5 years straight. You are on it for days when you're actually racing. And a huge shout out as well to LolPower 73526 for the McLaren livery there for you. They're also a part of Drivers Room. Drivers Room do a lot of liveries. Do check them out on Twitter. They've got YouTube as well. As I say, they help me out a lot with a lot of these liveries, and there's a surprise coming very soon for them as well that they're not aware of. Anyway, without further ado, let's forget about all of those compliments. Let's jump to the race then, and let's find out exactly why it was so funny. Here we are then at the start of the race. Again, flash away, folks, flash away. You see we're starting at the back, and Shelty, what a legend, picking the Volkswagen. Oh, and Max Power as well, picking the Huracan GT3. Of course, this is where we did the top speed test, so if you really want to check that out, check the end of the video. There should be a link to it right there for Group 3. If you really want to pick a different car. Anyway, we are in Bumblebee because it sounds like a bumblebee or lawnmower, or not very McLaren-esque anyway. So here we go then. Let's kick off the race. As you see, nice and easy to start off with. And you see the Volkswagen there just struggling off the mark. So we're going to follow Bosworth through here, and we're going to pass Shelty. We're actually going to pass Bosworth here as well with the double slipstream that we got as we head towards turn 1. Now, this will be chaos in a lot of splits, so do be careful entering this corner. I'll talk about the brake market in just a second. But we get it stopped nicely, and to be fair, in this race, not too bad. Not too bad at all. We'll leave there, gaining 2 positions, and Adrian there just hit the barrier. So we're looking for another place here. But look at the awareness there from the Spaniard. Good awareness. It's nice to see as we head into this right-hander then. Now, make sure you stay tight here, and then as you get over here, you chuck it left. You don't normally dab your brakes. I had to there because I was going to understeer into the barrier, which we'll talk about in just a second. Now, up ahead, Epic Toby hits the barrier there. So go on the inside here. I get a 1.5 second penalty for trying to avoid a collision there. Now, at this point, I was laughing, and then, yeah, I did that, and then on the 3 second penalty, I was literally laughing my head off at this point. So we're going to fall in behind the Spaniard here. I was like, oh, well, that's that race ruined. But yeah, it's one of those, I guess, where everybody's got the same penalties. Thank you, Wall Riders, for making sure that these penalties are a bit ridiculous, because it does mean the racing is not going to be as good. You're going to want to avoid going side by side in case you hit the barrier. You know, you meet barrier, and you get a 1.5 second penalty just for trying to race. Yeah, it's a bit frustrating. It's a shame you can't have... Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And then I outbrought myself and did it again. I was really laughing at this point. Yeah, that's... Anyway, let's advance a bit further on. So, obviously, up Epic Toby. in the same situation as me. Gets a penalty. Somebody up ahead of him as well has got a penalty. I want to say it's Shelty with a penalty. It is. So everyone with more penalties. But it does take away from the racing a bit. You're only going to race on the straights now. Whereas I have had some good side-by-sides here in the past. I really don't want to go side-by-side now at this circuit. It's a shame they couldn't have put the penalties on for time trial and then just, you know, put it back to a bit of a more lenient one in the race. Because, let's be honest, we're more... Oh, look. Poor Epic Toby. Got another one. Another one. And another one. Just one more from the old drunk stream, mate, when Tidgney Spears came out. So, yeah, we're going to overtake Epic Toby then. And we are going to go into a lap guide now, folks. I say, you can see on the minimap, actually, that the gaps are spread out because of this as well. So, head towards turn 1. Obviously, you're coming into here quite quickly. So, what you're looking for is either the 150-meter board or that green sign. Now, you could brake in the middle of them when you've got no slipstream. Obviously, if you have slipstream, brake a bit earlier than this, but you're looking for those two signs right there. Now, I prefer a V-shape in the Mclaren. I think it's quicker, but you've got to be careful of like Epic Toby there on the inside. But you notice how the exit is so much better. I much prefer doing the V-shape than the staying tight in the McLaren. It's just a bit too understeery for it. Heading? There's a H in there, Tidge. Heading up the hill, we're looking for the 50-meter board. And again, you want to brake and you want to keep it tight and don't understeer into the barrier. It's 1.5 seconds penalty for every hit of the barrier. Honestly, it's a pain. I imagine in the lower splits, you're going to be really suffering from this. Now, for this left-hander, the start of that red and white arrow there, you want to turn in. Again, you shouldn't really have to brake. Braking will cause understeer. You notice how I'm just rolling the car through. It's better to do that than to brake because you will just understeer. Now, interesting. I think Toby's got another penalty again. So, as the road goes straight here, the barrier on the left, that's when I start to turn right. You may want to lift a little bit here as well to make sure you don't hit the barrier. You notice a little lift there and a little lift there because I got scared. And then on the left-hand side, as that barrier ends on the left, that's when you want to start turning for the left. Again, you're going to want to lift here. No braking. Just lift. It avoids the understeer. We slightly tap the wall there, which fortunately we don't get a penalty. Shelty's got another penalty as well. Yeah, it's dodgy as anything. Anyway, 50-meter board. You try and get as close to that. As you see, I'm braking early here. So I try and get as close as possible. Don't go too aggressive. It's actually better to do it slightly earlier and then literally turn in and have a really good line for this right-hander because on the exit, hit the barrier, 1.5 second penalty. So it's better to not be as aggressive. But the closer you are to the 50-meter board and make it and maintain the momentum, the better your lap will be. So that's the risk-reward take you've got to do on that chicane. Now, Shelty just takes this penalty, goes towards the left, I go towards the right, and I'm looking for the start of that soundproofing barrier on the right-hand side. Speaking of soundproofing, the echo should hopefully disappear after this one. So next week is going to be spot on, but we'll talk about that shortly. So around here, balance the car. You notice how I was hovering around 1/4 throttle. Once I'm fine, I'll accelerate out. I had to lift a little bit there because once again I got scared of that 1.5 second penalty. So yeah, I think someone's trolling at PD. We've had a really slow race. Now we've gone into a really fast race where you even breathe on the barrier, you get a 1.5 second penalty. So poor Epic Toby's had like 400 of them in this race. But Chelsea going for the run towards the line. But you're about to see why I wouldn't pick the Volkswagen. Can't go past. But yeah, that is it for this race. Shout out to Max Power though in the Lamborghini, getting P2 there. That's nice to see. So you can use the Lamborghini as well if you want to go for that extra little bit of oversteer risk. Let's head to race C. Welcome to Interlagos then for race C. And as you can see in the background, we are in Turbo Boy. Yes, it's the F1500T. Basically the old Lotus car. And oh my word, does it want to kill you? So yes, be careful with this one. Let's have a look at the race details then. We're racing 14 laps here at Interlagos. It's a grid start with the full start check. Oh my word. Racing medium and hards both required. Fuel usage ×2. Tyre wear ×8. And yes, this one has been well thought out. Let's put it that way. So just to explain a little, fuel is an issue. So you might want to consider that. Tyres, you have to pit at some point in the race. So you want to consider traffic, saving fuel, etc. We'll talk about that shortly. And I say the grid start with false start check. Talk about everything. PD are trolling this week. This is a good troll. Thank you, PD. I really like this race in terms of the idea of it. I'll tell you how I feel in the race when we jump to that in 1 second. I had no livery for this one. Everyone thought it'd be the Super Formula. It wasn't. Let's jump to the race then and let's have a look exactly what happened. Here we are then at the start. You can't flash here. It's just going to be status quo for us. We are starting P19. It took an age to load this lobby. But lots of different liveries in there. A few in the Ferrari livery there, but we're in the general one. And -1 is the brake balance I chose for this one. I think that's suitable in this instance. So traction control on 1. I'll put my fuel map down. I'll put it up while we're waiting, down to 1 then. Rev at the very last second. Off you go. And then just before you change to second gear, turn the traction control off, and then off you go. Short shift to third potentially as well. You can see some people did struggle to start, and already it's 2-3 wide. So I was thinking, let's go around the outside here. We could gain loads of positions. So we do get on the inside here. Unfortunately, I think Womble was looking for the radar, they said, at the end of the race. So, yeah, a bit unfortunate there. I think we maybe could have gained another position, but, we've gained 2. It's better than none as we continue on down towards turn 2 then. But you can see how sketchy it is. You can see people are very scared to go anywhere near that throttle because you instantly start spinning. A few people go wide here, and we continue on. Make sure you don't rev at the start, by the way. As I say, fuel is an issue. As we look down the inside of one driver, potentially looking down the inside. No, here we go. We're going in on the inside of the French driver. Somebody else is off as well. Going to gain a few more spots here. Womble breaks a bit early, so the blue racer stays on the outside. The French driver also stays on the outside. But then looking round the outside on this left-hander, you can see it's very close. Everyone's behaving themselves, but again, it's one of those races. The lower down you are in terms of your DR, the lower the lobby is going to be. There's going to be a lot more mistakes, a lot more spins, so you're going to have to be very, very careful. Now, that Spaniard we just overtook, yeah, he's a bit of a punty boy. He's another turnip, as you see there. Absolutely whams me into one, but like full on. I have no idea what's going on. He kept pushing me then as well. I have no idea. I really have no idea at all. Now, Shelty has a good trick. Shelty does use traction control 1 here, so shout out to Shelty for that tip. And we'll see how Shelty gets on a little bit later on. So we're looking down the inside of the Spaniard then, heading towards this braking zone. And they've covered us off very nicely there, but they've gone a little bit too deep, as we did, to be fair. So we're through here. They're just so slow there. You notice how the turbo, if they're not on the turbo, my word, they're just no power. No power at all. Clarkson believes in speed and power. Well, apparently there's no power when not on that turbo. So in towards the braking zone we go. Now, I did talk about some stuff happening with this video, actually. I'll talk about it in a little bit. We'll carry on with the racing because the Spaniard goes defensive here. Oh, we got a spinner there. I didn't see who that was, but unlucky for them. They've gone. That was a full-on spin and a half, wasn't it? So the Spaniard looking defensive there. I'm going to keep the position for now. Come through here. Still status quo. And at this point, I realize I'm losing a lot of time. So I'm like, well, what can I do here? How can I get past him very easy? How can I get into that group up there? So my goal here, actually, is I'm going to pit early. However, I do get a run alongside here. I have to let off there as I get a bit boasted. And then he turned back into me. I don't know if he was catching it or not. But we do get through in the end. And then once again, he's just going to absolutely plow into me because, yeah, I don't know, he just likes doing that. So not on my nice list, let's put it that way, is that Mender troll. Probably a troll anyway. Not too sure. Anyway, we continue on. And yeah, I decided at this point, I'm going in the pits. I'm getting away from this. I know on the medium tyres I can escape this very quickly because we're going very slow. Straight to the pits here. And just to show you, I go on the medium tyre. And you can see the fuel is an issue there. I will have to save fuel. Now, critically as well, it's better to start on the hard tyre and change to the medium. Let me explain why. Coming out the pits here, if you are on the harder tyre, the AI has to completely lift off on the throttle. It doesn't carry as much speed, so you actually get a slower pit exit on the hard tyre than you do on the medium. Now, on the medium, it's 25 seconds lost from pit entry all the way to this point here, so just keep that in mind. So it is better to start on the hard in that sense, because you are using traction control. If we weren't using traction control for the start, then I would recommend the mediums. Anyway, lap guide, turn 1. It's the first red canopy there that you see on the left. Normally we're braking at the second. This one's the first. It's actually just before the first as well. Now, what I'd highly recommend is actually staying in third gear. This allows you to stay stable throughout the corner and you can accelerate through. And then you're going to get the turbo about here. You notice I had to lift off a little bit there. I then short shift to fourth again. I'm saving a bit of fuel by doing that, but it keeps the car stable by staying in that higher gear and not going into the turbo. Now, turn 2, you're looking for that Marshall box on the right-hand side, and you're braking just before this once again. And you can see I've just got on the brakes now. And again, you're going to third gear. It may seem like you should go to second gear here, but it's better to have the smoothness and the consistency by staying in third gear and only getting the power later on. Now, you do get the turbo here, so it might be better for you to short shift there as well. Coming up here, we're actually using the Marshall box on the left-hand side as a marker here. That's how early we are braking, as that leaves the screen. Again, third gear corner. Third gear is your best mate here. So as we go around here, you see the German's just gone slightly off there. You see Shelty up ahead. Shelty pitted on lap 1, by the way. Now, we're using the time marks as they intersect the curb on the left-hand side. There's a brake mark. You see, I'm already gone on the brakes here. Now you're going to second gear. Forget third gear. Was your bestie. You're now going to your second gear bestie. It's going through here. Wait. Oh, yes, look at that. Like a weird takeout there. Flying car on top of another car. You don't see that very often. As we continue on up here. Now, use the sign. I don't normally use this sign, but here we are. We're using it. The Mistral sign, as that leaves your screen, or starts leaving your screen, that's when you want to hit the brakes. Second gear once again for this corner. As you come around here, be careful on the throttle. Notice I'm half throttle until I'm straight. Then I short shift to third gear to avoid that turbo. Saves the tyres, means I can stay on the mediums for longer. Also saves fuel. Last corner, as that dead grass sort of, it stops, goes to a bit of green, and then there's a circled piece of dead grass that I've highlighted there. That's what I use as a brake marker. You see I'm already braking here. And again, third gear through this last corner. Do not do second gear. You'll just wheel spin and kill yourself, basically. And you can see how much more of a run I got there on the German by just being smooth through the corner. Avoiding that turbo, very much beneficial in terms of stability and making it so that you can use the medium tyre for longer. Remember, it's the better tyre, so it's best using it. So we're going to try around the outside for turn 1 at the Senna S. But we're not going to get that done here as German just comes across there. But that's good defense in my opinion. And well played to Setter there as we're going to continue on. Now, we've got an Italian coming out here on the left-hand side. What are they going to do? As we hit the braking zone, we're sort of in the middle of the road here. We're sort of trying to claim that position, but we're up to P11. Happy days. So I'm going to talk about the upgrades. Next week, we're going to see the biggest upgrade to this weekly series that you've ever seen. So do keep an eye out. The Echo that you will have heard should hopefully have gone. The acoustic panels are coming tomorrow. And yeah, that should be good. And that should reduce it, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And then, it's looking around the outside here. This is a good effort, but it's very hard to do because you'll just see it. The turbo span up there and you've got a load of oversteer as we come into the right-hander. But yes, there's some other upgrades happening to this series. So do keep an eye out. You may have spotted some in this week's video, to be fair, but maybe not. Need an eagle eye if you spotted it. Into the last corner we go, and we're keeping this position. Now, this is something funny. A lot of funny stuff happens here. So I follow the German for slipstream, go on the grass, and so does the Ferrari behind. Straight to the barrier. Huge F for the Italian there. Oh, dear. We both followed the German, and yeah, I thought that was quite funny, to be honest with you. Right, we continue on. Another Italian comes out the pits. This one, not so friendly. This is another turnip in my books. So coming into here, just absolutely rams me for reasons I don't know, but I just assumed it was a mistake. It's like, yeah, we'll just carry on. It's like, whoa, calm down, mate. That's exactly what I said, IRL. So then coming into here, he hits me, and now I'm having to really... He keeps hitting me, and yeah, pushes me off. So he actually hit the 3 strikes there, but I don't actually catch up to him to... I don't even know what the word is. Put action to those 3 strikes. Let's put it that way. Very frustrating. So a bit of a turnip there. And we've seen a few of them today. We had 2 in this race. We had 1 or 2 in the first race as well. Coming to here, you can see he's done the exact same thing here to the German. Just pushed him out wide onto the dirt and thinks that's getting position. Now, I go for the dive down the inside. The German came across there. I think that was a bit of a risk for me, to be honest with you. But the German kept the position, so we just carried on with the race here around the outside. And we are going to get that. Notice the better grip that I had just by waiting a little bit longer, making sure the car is straight. Because even if it turned even slightly, you'll get oversteer. If it's bang on straight, it's very unlikely you'll get the oversteer. Just keep that in mind as we come through here. Up into P7. What are the chances of us getting the curse position here, folks? What are the chances? Let's find out. We go to the end, and we overtook somebody in the pits, and we are in the curse position. Of course we are, and we do survive on the fuel. So if you're saving fuel, just don't go to the limiter. Just shift just before the limiter, and you should be fine. Congratulations to Will Murdoch, who won the race there. And as I say, a bit of a turn up in P4. Shelty, the legend. Traction control 1, pitted lap 1, finished P5. So there you go. You can do it even with traction control. Right, folks. As I said, there's going to be a few upgrades to this next week that should hopefully be of your liking, actually. I think this should really help this going forward even more so. I like to push the boundaries here. But if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because it's the only way you're going to keep in touch with all the content coming this week. But that is it for me now, folks. 2 videos there for you. Big thank you for supporting the channel as always. And I hope to see you in another video or live stream very soon.